Welcome to the Holy Spirit Verse by Verse. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining us as we study a very important Bible doctrine about the Holy Spirit. We are in Acts 11, verse 24 today. And the words spoken in this verse are about Barnabas. The verse, if you study it in isolation, is another verse that states a fact of the Spirit's work without an explicit statement of its function. We just saw a verse like that back in Acts 9:31. I believe that was episode 165. However, notice the first word of the verse, for. That indicates that Barnabas was able to accomplish a function previously stated because of the fact that he was a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and of faith. What function is it that he was able to accomplish? Well, back in verse 23, it states that upon his arrival in Antioch, he exhorted them all to remain faithful. His work in Antioch was that of exhorting people to remain faithful to the Lord. The connection between verses 23 and 24 that is most natural is Barnabas's being full of the Spirit and of faith is a statement of his prophetic abilities. There is no doubt that Barnabas was a prophet. Acts 13:1 specifically lists Barnabas among the prophets in the church at Antioch. Further, as we have seen consistently in earlier Bible texts and writings of Luke that our front-to-back approach has already examined, the phrase full of the Spirit is by nature prophetic in its meaning. Additionally, while Barnabas's being full of faith could be a reference to the quality of his personal faith, faith is listed as one of the prophetic gifts granted by the Holy Spirit, 1 Corinthians 12:9. And just go back to the Holy Spirit verses in Acts 6. That's episodes 154 through 158, by the way. There, being filled with the Holy Spirit and faith is tied together with being full of the Holy Spirit, power, grace, and wisdom in verses 5 to 10. It is by those gifts that Stephen, in that text, was able to preach in Jerusalem and before the council, Acts 6:10, and then recorded in Acts 7:55. And the act of preaching is precisely what Barnabas is credited with doing here in Acts 11. Don't make this hard. Luke did not change his established meaning of these phrases between Acts 6 and Acts 11. The most natural reading would make being full of the Spirit and in faith in Acts 6 and then again in Acts 11 mean the same thing. And they do. It means the prophetic work of the Spirit in both texts. So here in Acts 11:24, through the empowering from the Spirit, Barnabas was given the words needed to exhort the brethren in Antioch to follow God with a steadfast purpose, as the text says. So once again, the Holy Spirit's work is just prophetic in its nature. It always is.